Namaskaram.
Namaste. Good morning, Europe. Good evening, America. Hello, world. I'm Kritika, and together with Subbu, we welcome you all to Sambash discussion series. Sambash is an open community of like-minded Indians from different spheres of life, from IT to accounting, from students to professors to retired seniors, all living in Europe. We come together to discuss the real Indian cash, culture, art, societal issues, and history. We help our followers develop a better understanding of Indian culture. Ancient Bharat had a wealth of shastras that helped our civilization thrive as the largest economy in the world. Shilpa Shastra, Artha Shastra, Gandharva Shastra, Ayurveda Shastra, Dhanurveda. While other scripts are available in parts, Dhanurveda seems to have been lost completely during the invasion era. Today's topic, of course, is not Dhanurveda but Ayurveda, the medical science of ancient India, written in 900 BCE, which is relevant even today. To discuss this, we have two special guests on our show, a doctor and a student. We welcome you, Dr. Ranjani Maicheri and Miss Alice Russell. Namaste, welcome to the show. I hand over
Namaste.
now.
Could you hear me now?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, I'll give a quick introduction about the guest. Dr. Ranjani Maicheri hails from Kerala. She obtained her BA-MS degree in Ayurveda from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Bangalore. Obtained postgraduate diploma in clinical research from ICRI. Postgraduate diploma in yoga therapy for doctors from Vyasa University. Additionally, she has obtained a master accreditation in neuro-linguistic programming from Priority Academy. During the 17 years of her career as an Ayurvedic physician, she worked for Ayurveda Kendra, NRHM, Kerala Ayurveda, Dhanvantri Sadhanam in India. She has given workshops and presentations about Ayurveda and yoga in India, Germany, and Belgium. In the year of 2016, she started Ayur Yoga Mantra in Belgium to keep up her passion and spread the healing touch of Ayurveda and yoga in Belgium. Healthy mind and healthy body for all, irrespective of rich and poor, is the motto of Ayur Yoga Mantra. Currently, she is working as Indian Affairs Coordinator and International Counselor at KU Leuven University and an active member of KU Leuven Life Stance Network. Dr. Ranjani, we once again welcome you to our show.
Namaste.
Yeah. Okay. Now about Alice Roussel. Born in Toulon, France, lived in Germany and the Netherlands before landing to Belgium for a living. She speaks 4 European languages. Her grandparents were part of the French resistance, and her father, a pupil from Zen master Deshimaru, dived into Buddhist texts, which led him to Bodhidharma, Buddha, and thus India. He taught Alice a motto: always dig to the source. She learnt music, drawing, sciences, languages, writing, even a bit of dance and martial arts. She learnt about Western philosophers, especially the humanists, who teach about learning everything and not limiting yourself to one subject. Learnt Zen meditation and the circulation of qi, the Chinese transcription for the vital source of energy. From this, she went to study alchemy and study the common aspects of West and East in order to build a bridge between the two. She has been studying wild plants for 4 years, and this led her to meet Dr. Ranjani to learn about Ayurvedic properties and realize the struggles of Ayurveda to get recognized in a serious way. Alice, welcome to our show.
I feel like I am a superhero right now. Thanks.
It seems like you are. Okay, let's dive into the first question. This question is to Ranjani, Dr. Ranjani. Tell us about practicing Ayurveda abroad, especially in Europe. So, what were the challenges, and when you wanted to pursue or your practice of Ayurveda in Belgium, and what challenges did you face to practice this in your city?
Actually, I faced a lot of challenges in the practice of Ayurveda here in Europe, actually. Because Ayurveda comes under the traditional system of medicine, and the one we practice here is mostly. When I came here in Europe 8 years back, yeah, I don't know how to start the practice of Ayurveda like how we do in India. In India, what we do, at least we can start a clinic or work in a hospital like that. But here, I found that it is not possible like the same way, because the main challenge was there was no formulations available to prescribe, actually. Then also that in some places in Europe, it is like it is not recognized as like the allopathic system. Okay. I started my search. How can I practice myself? Whatever I have studied, whatever I have practiced for many years. Then finally, I found a way. I have started my own uh, myself. I read yoga mantra in 2016. Okay. The way how I practice here is I first do the pulse diagnosis, then I will give either Ayurvedic therapies or yoga therapies respective to the diseases, or then I will advise the diet according to the prakriti, or the nature of the patient and the nature of the disease. This is the way how I do practice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
it
that's
found
great.
to be effective for people.
Yes. Yeah, that's great. I would like to understand. See, it is not easy in other countries to do a research, on that country's ancient or historic practices. So, how easy is it for the foreigners to do a research on indigenous products like Ayurveda Shastra?
Okay. Actually, when talking about India, there is a ministry of Ayurveda. It is called Ayush Ministry. Also, Central Council for Research in Ayurveda Sciences is there. Actually, if somebody wanted to do researches in Ayurveda, first you need to apply there, contact them, the Central Council of Research. There are also some private organizations do research in Ayurveda. For example, in Europe, there is a Maharshi Ayurveda Research Center, Meru, is in Netherlands. Also, there is a Rosenberg Research Institute in Germany. And in US, actually, Indo-US IUSSTF is also doing some research, combined research. Recently, you might have heard about corona research in Indo-US collaboration in Ayurveda. Yeah.
Sorry, I was really lost in your story there, Dr. Maicheri. So I didn't realize that it was time for my turn to ask the question.
Okay.
In fact, Dr. Maicheri, I think you were not mentioning one of the previous struggles where uh, you were often asked this question about how are you even calling yourself a doctor, right? So there is a story there.
Yeah.
Uh, can you tell our audience about what happened when you wanted to go and introduce yourself to an Ayurvedic doctor who was Belgian?
Yeah, actually, it was in 2013, I believe, 2013 or 14. Actually, that time I have arrived in just arrived in Belgium, and I was yeah sending mails to people who are Ayurvedic, who are practicing Ayurveda, and trying to contact people who are practicing Ayurveda or well-known people. Okay, and I didn't get a single reply from anyone. Okay, and once there was a presentation about Ayurveda by a Belgian person. She's not a doctor actually. She just studied. Ayurveda by going to even to my home country, also my home state. She went to Kerala and she studied Ayurveda, and I went to her presentation in Brussels. Okay, during the presentation, I have seen slides from Kerala and all. I was really excited, and after the presentation, I asked her. Yeah, I was really excited. I am a Ayurvedic doctor from Kerala, and she said, "Oh, lady, why are you calling yourself as a doctor here? You are not supposed to call yourself as a doctor here because it's the way how you can be called as a therapist or a practitioner, not as a doctor." I was really surprised and I was really sad. And
And
yeah,
this was after you having how many years of experience as a Ayurvedic doctor practitioner?
I was practicing from 2003. It's like for 11 years. After 11 years of practicing, yeah, in India, and giving some presentations even in Germany also, I heard this thing. I was really sad. Okay, and she then after that I came back. Then I started searching how can I start something myself, because I didn't get a reply from anyone. And so later I started Ayurveda Yoga Mantra in 2016, and it was a good experience with the Ayurveda Yoga Mantra, and people were responding, and many people from different nationalities came to me. If I was in India only, most probably only Indians might have came to me as patients, but here I met many people who are interested in Ayurveda. And later in 2018, I believe, there was a Independence Day celebration in the embassy, Indian Embassy, Brussels. I went there, and there I met the same lady, and I told her, yeah, see my flyer, you can read it. Yeah, I have written as an Ayurvedic doctor. I am an Ayurvedic doctor. I will be like that because I have studied the science for 5.5 years and practiced this many years. And that time she said, "Oh, sorry. That time I didn't know that and all." Yeah, that was tit for tat.
So
It's,
life came a full circle for you, Ranjani.
yeah,
There.
yeah, I
So
really happy. I became really happy.
yeah, the reason I had to pull this story out of you is like often we see in all other sectors, where, for example, in IT, we see that the girls can make a comeback. There is so much emphasis on bringing the girls back into the foray of professional sphere. We see that, but it's always IT with girls who code, or for example, B code. These organizations exist to give people or relaunch people into back into their careers, and you see how hard it is for someone who is not in the popular professions to redeem themselves and to get back to what they were doing. So amazing, inspiring story there, Ranjani. So going now to Alice. Alice, you are a multifaceted personality. You have interest in meditation, balancing of your chi, and I know you're a voracious sketcher, a drawer. I see your comic strips on Facebook from time to time. Did you finally get your stop or a sort of pause in herbology, as specific science in botany? Did you finally rest your quest in herbology?
What does that mean, rest? No, more seriously, I wouldn't say that I stopped. Of course, this is technically impossible because also all these center of interest, they connect between each other and they balance each other. I think, in fact, that the botany study gave me at last a strong direction that I can follow, because this was not the case before and I would feel scattered, and I can at last focus on something strong to which the other center of interest connect. For example, if you spoke about drawing, and thank you very much. I do draw plants and I want to develop the drawing of plants thanks to botany. That's an example. Voila.
Yeah. Alice, I have a very different question as a follow up. What commonality do you see between your study of plants and spirituality?
In fact, this is good. Thanks for the question, because indeed, when it was not that simple first, I did develop interest in plants for many reasons. Most of them was to connect back to my childhood interest and how I could make it a living in a more balanced way for myself. But in the end, back then, I didn't think about connecting consciously to plants in a spiritual way. This was getting this happened more and more while getting in contact with them. So in fact, this is not me who seeks spirituality in my study of plants, but this is more them teach me about it. When I began studying plants, I had a very methodical approach. Like I would collect, it was more like a collector mindset. I wanted to study 200 plants during my 3 years of botany, because the regulatory limit to sell plants are 148. And I told myself I need to study more so that I can be more efficient. But in the end, it was a very cold scientific approach. Well, not so scientific either, very Western in a sense. And I ended remembering more and more things from my early years as a child when I was among the flowers, and I just would enjoy being with them. And I realized a bit how pointless all of this was. The school that I am into, which is Collège Pratique d'Ethnobotanique, is also the school which helped me to go to it. And also, what also makes me even more convinced about it is precisely the fact that I could meet you guys and Ranjani, and I am happy to see that no matter the background or culture is, they all converge into one direction. One of my big role model is Theodore Monod, who was a biologist, archaeologist, philosopher from the early 20th century, and he also led me to that everywhere in the world, no matter what you do, if you follow seriously one direction connected to nature, you would find some answers which are global. So that is more like that. And also the fact that you have to use your five senses, the fact that you have to identify the plants in a given way for 5 parts, which are the roots, the rod, the leaves, the flowers, and the fruit, takes more and more time, patience, attention, and this is how you get to know more and more about them and yourself, because getting patient is not really my strong point.
Yeah, absolutely right. So, talking about philosophy and biology, so I want to put this question to Dr. Ranjani. Can plants invoke spirituality?
Of course, the plants can invoke spirituality. You might have heard about seven chakras in your body that are energy centers.
Yeah.
There are plants which can invoke specific or those will invoke the spirituality. That is especially the Chandana Santalam album. It can invoke the sixth chakra, Ajna chakra, that is especially related to the um, especially related to the spirituality. Normally in spiritual people, this chakra is predominant. For example, we when we go to the temples, normally we will get a chandana or a sandalwood paste as a prasadam or a offering. When we put that chandana in our forehead here, it will invoke the sixth chakra or the Ajna chakra. So that's why, that is one of the examples for spirituality.
Yeah, got it. Alice was telling she got her interest, and it was indeed a great opportunity to have met Dr. Ranjani. So, question to you, Alice. So, how did you meet Dr. Ranjani, and how you got your interest in Ayurveda?
All right. So in fact, how to put that? Currently, I am following a 4-year school in botany, and during this school year, which was in December, we had a course on medicinal properties of plants. So just to make clear, also the director of the school, François Couplan, is the one who taught us about the program. And the medicinal properties of plants, we had to study that in December, and we needed to choose a topic to present to the class. And I chose Ayurveda among the possible topics because I always wanted to learn more about it. And given my background, and also the fact that I got to know Kritika and also other fellow Indian colleagues thanks to the work, Kritika is the one who brought me to Ranjini, and it completely confirmed the feeling that I had while getting in contact with plants. And well, it was really a great. I mean, I really enjoyed it, and also it seems that Ranjini too. And we got to how to put that. We got to realize that these plants were really a common interest, which completely confirms the feeling I had during my study, that they are living beings, of course, sentient beings with feelings which convey energy. And this is also the moment I want to stress out the fact for the spectators that I am not an Ayurveda practitioner. I don't know anything about Ayurveda. I am not here for that. The expert here is Ranjini about Ayurveda. The only thing I can bring a little is more about how I got in touch with the plants and European plants and how they can be useful. But I won't speak for Ayurveda here. This is really not a topic I know. I will maybe say that after I follow the guru for 10 years, but not now.
Okay, then let's pose the question to Dr. Maicheri. Like, Ranjani, what drew your interest into Alice's research, and what made you discuss or get into Alice's research?
Yeah. Actually, I was when I came to Europe, I was searching for the plants which are having medicinal properties. So when I walk through the forest, when I go to my garden, I was searching for something familiar to me. But it was really difficult to find the plants which is in India, finding it here. So, but when once we were talking about plants, she showed me some plants. Okay, then when I came to know the scientific name of that plant. Normally we study this in the scientific name, Ayurvedic name, everything. Then that time. Actually, I came to know that this plant I have studied, but normally some plants which are in only in Himalayas, okay, we won't see the fresh herbs. Normally we see it in picture or dry herbs. That plant I saw here, and I was really happy about that. For example, I have seen another plant called dil. Normally, you might have heard about dil. Dil leaves actually used as a medicine in Ayurveda. It is called in Sanskrit. It is called shatahua. It's a common medicine used in many Ayurvedic formulations. Also, talking about plants, whether it is a European plant or a Indian plant, all plants are made up of 5 elements actually. Only 5 elements are fire, air, space, earth, and all these elements. The 5 elements normally that is present in human beings and normally present in the plants also. The Ayurveda, how it works is normally people say only Vata, Pitta, Kapha about Ayurveda, but this Vata, Pitta, Kapha also included in this plants or the 5 elements in a different permutations and combinations. Okay. So, for example, if a person gets some problems in the stomach, for example, acidity, if somebody gets acidity, that time the fire element is excess in a person's body. Okay. In that case, normally we use like mint leaves. Yeah, I have it here. The mint leaves, we use it. Actually, we can just chew it very slowly. Then it will, this mint leaves, it contains the water element. That is normally when fire is there, we use water to remove the fire. So turn out the fire. So that way we use mint as a medicine to cure acidity. So there are so many plants which can be used. So it's like we can use the European plants also in Ayurvedic practice.
Yeah, Dr. Ranjani, I have a question. Talking about Panjabhuta elements, 5 elements
Yeah,
that you said, and growing the plants in Belgium. So you also mentioned that we have special plants that will be grown only in Himalayas or
yeah.
in special hills, right, or wild forests. So I have a question: how do we grow these plants, or is there any suggestion that you can give us to grow our own plant in our home? Is that possible in Belgium condition and Belgian weather conditions, especially in winter?
But some plants are definitely can grow in winter also. For example, the nettle plant. Alice, you might be knowing about the nettle plant. It's commonly you can tell about more about the features and the scientific names and contents, chemical contents, and about all these things. In Ayurveda, we call as Vrishchikali. Yeah, maybe you can tell me about that nettle. And
Well,
I know that you taught me how to pick it up, how to pluck the nettle. So she showed me uh, because nettle is very common. A nettle plant is very common, wild plant in Belgium. This is nettle, okay. Normally, I was really scared of plucking this plant. When we touch it, it causes a stinging sensation, okay. So she showed me, Alice showed me how to pluck it correctly. She told like this, you need to hold it from like this, and if you pluck it, there won't be any problem. Yeah, like
yeah.
this. It won't cause
You,
any
you,
stinging sensation.
Yeah, Alice, tell us
well,
more about.
great,
Yeah,
great.
tell us more about
No,
this nettle
please.
and how we can use it in our daily salads. Is it possible to cook them? Give more features about nettle.
Okay. First, from our common, well, Ranjini, also please your part on the, because you told me that the nettle was growing in India too. That was
Yes.
a great discovery for me. Um, but on the European side, what I learned from the nettle is that it's extremely rich. Actually, we call it's a very hated plant because it is invasive. Indeed, it's getting everywhere where it is humid and about in the woods. If it's under a tree with a little bit of shadow and humidity, that's perfect for nettles. They grow everywhere. The thing is, it's extremely rich in minerals and vitamins. It is sometimes called nicknamed the queen of wild plants for medicinal and cooking properties. And it is super good for blood circulation, against rheumatism, between many other things. So I would also really use that for a booster and detoxifier. So this is a really very powerful plant. And indeed, there are a lot of ways to cook it. Personally, I use it more in spring, but we can also use that in winter, but I will go to that. In spring, what I do is that I indeed forage the 4 first leaves. That's something I learned from the school I mentioned just before. And you need to pick a lot of that, because 100 gram is really a bucket. And then you can, with a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of chopped garlic, you cook that for about a few minutes. You still have to be there and to cover the pan so that it doesn't burn. And then it's already done. That's that simple. A few leaves, olive oil and garlic. You wash them, you cook them for a few minutes, and then that's it. But you can also do many other things. You can it's almost a grandma. Well, actually, this is a grandma recipe. The nettle soup is very known in Europe, with a little bit of cream, and then you still take the young leaves because it's the most flavory one, and then you cook them as a soup. You can also, I don't personally do it yet, but you can roll the leaves to suppress the itching, and then you put them raw in a salad. But there are many other ways. In fact, right now I have a book. Well, this is a French one, but you see, I do have my load of recipes inside. I don't cook so much right
Alice,
now, but
next
I got
time
60 pages of recipes.
Alice, next time we should probably start a cooking channel for you to cook these local plants. I know there was this episode where
Well,
I
why
was
not?
having
Let's
this
see.
discussion. I'm definitely watching it because there are a lot of plants in my garden that I keep throwing. Like one such is papagaya keradan, which I was happily pulling out and throwing it away until I took a picture and sent it to Alice and Ranjani. And Alice confirmed it is edible. And Ranjani, can you go ahead with that story, please?
Yeah, it's looking like a kirai, right? It's a kirai, or a kind of kirai, but normally we use in Kerala with coconut, grated coconut, then garlic and all. Actually, this plant contains a little bit excess of oxalis, oxalic acid. So that's why we cook that way, adding coconut and some jeera and all,
And you
garlic
said
and
that
all.
its name is amaranthus, right?
Yeah, amaranthus. It's a
And it's a
variety of
superfood.
amaranthus.
And it's a superfood, huh?
Yeah, amaranthus, actually, amaranthus seeds are a superfood, but amaranthus leaves,
Lucky one.
that is there are many varieties of amaranthus. Okay, I have a red amaranthus in my garden. It's called red kirai, but this is a green kirai, but not that one we get in India. It's a little bit different. This one contains a little bit more oxalic acid, but so regular consumption is not. You are not supposed to do the regular consumption.
Yeah,
But
tomato has more oxalic, right? Tomato has more oxalic
yeah,
acid.
yeah, there are many plants which contains oxalic acid. For example, maybe move to the another one, Oxalis corniculata, Alice. Oxalis corniculata.
Well, on
That is a
yes.
Yeah, it's a commonly found plant. Maybe I have it my so much of these plants in my
Yeah,
garden. Yeah, this one.
Can you
Oxalis.
bring it closer to the camera, please?
Yeah,
Ah,
this
yes.
one.
This often
Yes,
grows in
that
the
is
garden which
surprising
we
that you
throw
don't
away.
have.
Is it right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I'm just surprised that you don't. Well, I think it's that it's a bit under the light. You don't still have the yellow flowers. I should have
Yeah,
brought
there.
two, but yes, this one. Mm.
Yeah, it's some birds are coming. I think flower birds, small flower birds are coming. You can see it's a yellow flowers. It is having.
Mm, mm.
Normally, here, yeah, it is called Oxalis corniculata, the scientific name. Actually, it's called Charnieri. In Sanskrit name is Charnieri. It's commonly found in India also. So, what we use this one is normally for if you have a this also contains lots of oxalic acid. Okay, so this plant alone consumption alone plant juice alone is not advised. Okay, so how we use this when we mix it with for example buttermilk, make a juice of this plant with buttermilk and consume it. That is helpful in amla pitta, for example, acidity. It's very helpful or digestive problems for because yeah,
I have a question when you say when you
yeah,
mix it with buttermilk and drink. So,
yeah.
are there any restrictions in using these leaves, right? Especially mint. So, is
Mhm.
there anything that we should not mix or honey? Because there is
Yeah.
common thing, right? We have honey in the morning. Uh,
Mhm.
is there anything we should not mix the products?
Yeah. Yeah, that is called improper combinations. Improper combinations that is mentioned in a chapter Ashtanga Hridaya. That is, there is a chapter, special chapter about this improper combinations. For example, honey. If we put honey in hot milk or hot tea or hot water, it acts as a visha or a poisonous. Okay, that doesn't mean it will kill a person. Okay, normally it will cause some severe indigestion or constipation or that kind of things. So I think normally people put honey in their cereals and all.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
will, yeah, it's a hot milk, then they will put hot milk. It's not advisable. It will cause some digestive issues.
Yeah, normally these cereals like Kellogg's or the honey drops that we get in Kellogg's cereals, right? So they don't
Mhm.
mention anything like as a warning in their box, like you
Mhm.
can't put hot milk over it. But as Indians or as Asians for that matter, we eat a lot of warm food. So in breakfast, it's normal for us to pour hot milk over this honey-filled cereals. So this is something interesting I've never heard of.
Yeah.
But Ranjani, don't all these dietitians recommend drinking warm water, honey, lemon in the morning, that it will help you in reducing weight?
Yeah, but it might be like not a hot water, like a lukewarm is okay. Boiling water is not good. A little bit lukewarm is okay. They might be saying in the lukewarm stage,
Yeah.
probably.
Wow, that
Uh,
is good to know. Like how not to combine some of the things which is
yeah,
good for health, but if the wrong combination or the wrong some wrong factors can actually be counteracting on what it is supposed to do. Okay.
yeah,
For example, I was very interested when Ali said, or she was talking about bringing a dandelion jam once the lockdown is finished to work. Ali is like, it's a plant that we often want to throw or remove because it's going to spread all across your garden. And suddenly you bring this interest in dandelion. Could you elaborate dandelion and what would you like to do with it?
Sure. I just check again the if I can show you exactly what the dandelion is. I don't know if everyone is familiar with the English words. I personally didn't know it. This is why I'm telling that. So I will, yes. In fact, the dandelion is as much is as interesting as the nettle, because it's a very also well-known plant. So that's it. Yeah, just to be sure everyone get to know it. So this is really the plant we're talking about. So everybody has seen it, I think. You have it all over in your garden, and if not the garden, you can see all the flower heads in spring, and then it turns into a fruit head, which is very spherical, and the children love to whistle on it, so that then it can fly all over, and it's very beautiful. So this is a plant we're talking about, which is very common, and at least in Europe. I don't know for India, and it is an extremely useful one. It is the leaves can be used also, maybe better in spring if you want early leaves, which are the less bitter. But it is also used. You can use the flower heads. I use it to cook jam. You can use the flower head also to decorate the salads, or to decorate your pies, or you decorate your oatmeals. You can eat the roots in autumn and winter. The best way, maybe the most simple, is to just oil it on the pan, and then you just chop them and you make it cook. Basically, the dandelions are very good, also super rich in vitamins and minerals, but they are super good for detoxifying. This is really their role. If any role, it would be the number one. It really cleanses the liver, and basically, if you have a hangover, or you did eat a little bit more in Christmas, then dandelion cure is good for you. um, but this is really a balancing plant, yes.
Yeah, even
And
yeah.
yeah, no,
Even in
please.
India,
This is what I was asking. That you,
yeah, even in India, we use this dandelion actually
Mhm.
as a tea, as a liver tonic, and all. We use this for some liver diseases, even for fever. A kashaya made up of this dandelion, it really helps. Also,
Okay.
the milk coming out from the if we break the plant, there will be a milk coming out that can be applied to the warts to
Hmm.
um,
Okay.
reduce the warts. Yeah.
Hmm. Wow. So many uses. There is an
Yeah.
audience question. Subbu, can I take this audience question popping up from Divya Krishnan? All right, thanks. Like how our elders talk about tulsi or turmeric. So, what are the herbs or equivalent in in Europe that Alice and Ranjani have come across, and what could be their uses?
I think
Yeah.
dandelion is one such example,
Correct.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, even mint leaves are really vastly available here. That can be used. Yeah, even the basil, even though it is different from the holy basil, normal basil can also be as a replacement. When we are making tea or something, to even the effectiveness of this tulsi and turmeric. Maybe I can talk about a little bit about the current situations. How can we use these herbs which are available here in the treatment of or the prevention of COVID-19? For example, normally turmeric is an anti-inflammatory drug, and to use how to use turmeric is whenever we use turmeric, add a pinch of pepper always to get the maximum out of it, to get absorbed fully or to the our body. Turmeric, the tea made up of turmeric, holy basil, ginger, then this thing, the coriander seeds, all these mixed together. And you can add a little bit pepper also, and you can make a tea out of it. You can add a little bit of ajwain seeds also, and it will act as a immunity. It will improve immunity in our body. We can mix it and make a tea and have it the whole day in lukewarm state, it will helps to improve immunity in our body. Yeah, normally, especially in Kerala, we use this as a immune booster actually. So it will be really helpful in the prevent these infections, specifically the respiratory infections, fever, cough, and all. It will be really helpful.
Yeah, my grandmother used to give me in hot milk. She'll pour some turmeric powder and pepper, grind some pepper and give it. So we didn't realize the importance of those suggestions during those days. So it is in turn
Yeah,
we used to say the food that we eat is the medicine, right?
yeah.
In India, that's what we say. So we didn't realize the importance of those advices. Anyway, we have another audience question. This is from Karthikeyan. Is there a connection between Ayurveda and Siddha? Are they two different? And how does Unani, come in this picture?
Yeah, and normally Ayurveda and Sita a little bit similar medical systems. Comes under the conventional system or the traditional system of medicine. And Unani is also one of the part. Another one is homeopathy. There are differences in the principles of the, even though there are principles, differences in the principles, basic principles, there are some similarities also. In Ayurveda, mostly we use herbs as a medicine, even though there is very less minerals are used or rasa medicines are used. These are very less we use in Ayurveda. But for example, in Sita, more they use more the minerals as medicines. They use very less herbs, fresh herbs and all. They use very less. That is the common difference. Yeah.
Okay. One question out of curiosity to Elise. You have started foraging, right? So, and foraging is something that's picking up, and you see that special Michelin star restaurants are making their special products or special delicacies on their menu, which are coming from foraging. So, what pushed you towards foraging? Are you looking at it? Is it just for fun? Are you initiating other people to also forage? Are you thinking of doing it commercially?
Okay. First, a prior reaction to one of the comments. When I think one of the person who asked a question said, as we used to do in early Europe, the reason why I'm here now is because I want to stress out this is not just early Europe, this is Europe now. People exactly like here in the conversation in India, there is a consciousness raised about how important it is to go back to these traditions which are lost and which are in fact from the pre-Christian era, but not only, of course. And this is exactly the reason why such restaurants as the one you said actually are getting back to foraging. Of course, there is a bit of trendy, playing with the return to nature, organic, etc. But this is also a bit more serious. So now to get back to your question, to me it's both. To be honest, when I began, I didn't know where it would lead me to. Uh, Definitely it was for fun because it's something new and you know, I'm curious about new things. And I knew, but of course I knew also that it was important to begin with my health and with getting back, as I said, to these important traditions that we lost. Uh, Thankfully not so much lost, but still lost. But I didn't realize back then how important it was. I really just wanted to learn, and that's all. And it is only recently that I began to get how militant it was in a sense, because when you leave your garden grow and only you only cut the herbs like once every 2 years, and don't worry, it's not getting that high. When you forage, when you cook white plants and you present it to friends, it can raise questions. It can get people surprised or even afraid, because what are you cooking? Do you want to poison us? That's a common question you can have, even for a joke it happens. And finally, also recently I did a walk with children, two actually, and one of her was 8 years old, and she didn't know name of plants I used to really get along when I was a child. And I told myself, okay, this is important. And this is really how it is always for fun, because it is a funny thing to do. You are just getting for free your white plants, which are good for your health. Outdoor, it is a nice occasion for a walk. You do a land cooking, it's like a workshop. It is for fun. It takes time. It is sometimes harassing, but it's for fun. But it's more fun is the starting trigger, and then you have the fact that it is useful and healthy and also important. So this is more like that.
Yes, it gives an opportunity to forest bathe if you're going into the forest to forage your plants. And it's nice, it's very educational, like you say, like kids learn about what's growing around and how to identify the plants. It's very interesting what you do, Elise. I'm really inspired. Next walk, please
Thanks.
count our family in.
Okay,
Thanks.
I'll take another audience question to Dr. Ranjani. I'm not posting it here because we are editing a few parts of the question. So there is a recent controversy on coconut oil and the use of coconut in preparation of the food, as it could be a poisonous infusion or it might affect heart. So, what is your point of view, Dr. Ranjani?
Yeah, coconut oil is used since ancient times in our food actually, and the controversy actually it is unnecessary. I say because coconut oil is one of the oils we can heat high in a high heat, and it won't cause any poisonous effect. Okay, for example, if we heat like a sunflower oil, it is not it won't be a good give a good effect. Okay, but coconut oil is like it's really good for our health. I feel like it's really good, and yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Okay, quickly going through, we just have 10 more minutes. Um, uh, John's wort is something that you find often in your garden, and chamomile, of course. These are the most popular plants that you find. Do you have to say something specific, Alice or Anthony, whoever wants to take, or the two of you can take after one after the other? Alice?
If you
Alice,
want to
you
say
can.
something first. Okay.
Yeah, Alice, you
Okay.
can take it over
Um,
because.
all right. What I wanted to really express is first my thanks for this opportunity, which is very nice, because this is really, I know about Indian traditions, and I really feel like I'm a privileged guest right now. And also to the audience, I really want to say that the reason there is such a nice collaboration is that this is really for Indian expats to get to know that there are plants in Europe which are actually growing in Indian and Europe. I mean, in both countries slash continents, and that you can definitely use them for your own good. And also the reason why I'm here as a European and as a French person, I'm French, is that I think it's extremely important to stress out the fact that local plants should be used, because then if European people want to know better about their own plant, then it can also encourage them not to buy and export local plants in India which are jeopardized and should be used in India only because this is more coherent with the metabolism of and the bodies of the person here. And they rather go to the European plants that they can use for their own good, because it's more consistent for their body and their health. This is really something I wanted to express here because we really need to work together on that. So that was my 2 cents.
Thank you, Alice. Grow local, go local. That's a very nice message coming from you. Dr. Ranjani, my turn.
Yeah, actually, we say in Ayurveda there are different kinds of land. The same thing I wanted to say is, yeah, in different types of land, different kind of plants are available, and they have the properties, specific properties, and even healing properties. According to the land and according to the people who are living here. So try to use local plants to mostly to heal your diseases and all, and that will be more good for your health and all. So that's what I wanted to say, and we will continue our research and about these plants, and we will find more and more plants which are similar, and yeah, me and Alice will definitely work together and try to find more plants, and probably come back to you again with more different plants which can help you, which can boost your health. Okay, so thank you very much for giving this opportunity to Kritika and KV Subramaniam and the Sambash group. Thank you very
Yeah,
much. It
thank you.
was a good experience for me.
Yeah, thank you. It is indeed a very useful session for us. We never knew about the abundance of these plants available in Belgium and that can be grown throughout the year, and that is also available in plenty. The nettle that you spoke about, we weren't aware of about it before. So next time I will ask my mom to get the nettle, and maybe we'll prepare a salad or a dish out of it and see how it comes out. Anyway, thank you.
But better wait for the channel of Alice, because there can be parts that you're supposed to throw
Okay.
and we end
Yeah,
up
yeah, I have to
cooking.
make sure how to pluck it. So that is something that I need to take care of. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and being part of this conversation. I hope it is indeed useful for the viewers who watched our show. Over to Kritika to close our show with a Shanti mantra.
ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामया, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. Thank you.